Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the human training your dog is begging you for. I'm Charles Countryman, joined with my wife Laura, co-founders of Canine Culture Dog Training in Dallas. Good morning.
Good morning.
And as always, we have senior evaluator and head of evaluation. I had that backwards. Wyatt, how you doing?
Pretty good.
And Julie, lead trainer for, she's the head, what would you heard all the trainers.
You heard of the cat. She heard the cat.
She herds the cats.
Mushes the cat. Musher. She even got a white dog. She mushes them.
That's right.
Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
All right, if you are needing help understanding your dog and their behaviors, why they do some of the goofy, batty stuff they do, or how to take it up a notch with what they already do well, you've come to the right place. Our goal, as always, is to help you with training, behavioral, emotional, and health and happiness issues with your pup. All things dogs is what we want to talk about. So today, guys, is week 3, right? Week
Week 3.
4 weeks of talking about types of dog trainers. So first week, we talked about purely positive.
Yep.
Last week, we talked about balanced trainers. And really define that because, well, just go listen to it.
Yes.
It's a complicated term because it's kind of misused. Today, we are going to be talking about compulsion-based trainers.
Boo.
Now,
Icky.
as we all know, there really is, if you go Google and search for a compulsion-based dog trainer, good luck, you ain't going to find one.
No.
Because no one in their right mind is going to advertise that that's the type of trainer they're at.
Nowadays.
Right? Yeah, nowadays.
In the olden days.
Yeah, back
5
in
years
the
ago.
Keeler method, if you ever really want to read a sick book about dog training, read Keeler's book. Wow.
Yeah.
That used to be how people train dogs.
Yep.
That's an old book
Unfortunately,
in the
there's
70s.
still people train that way.
Yeah. I had a dog trainer one time said, hey, do you know where I get a copy of that? I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? There's really nothing in that book you want to implement in dog training.
Nope.
Yeah.
We have, in the last 50-some years, we have migrated way beyond that.
Hopefully.
But he's an active dog trainer, always has dogs. So he thought there was some good, valuable stuff in that book that he could implement.
Hopefully he's changed. All trainers, if they've been in the business for a while, they all grow and change. Because you have to.
You have to, right? I mean, we do in politics. We change some, as we age, we look at things in life differently.
As you learn more.
As you learn more.
Even if you only train one breed as puppies, they're all different.
They're all different.
Yeah. No.
You can't just do it
Every
the
dog
same
in a
way.
breed is not the same.
Yeah.
That would be like saying all humans are the same because we're all humans. Well, that's...
Or all brothers and sisters are the same because
Yeah.
they have the same mommy and daddy.
Yeah, me and my brother are polar opposites. You'd never know we grew up in the same home. And all your brothers.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah. So I guess for clarity's sake, we call it compulsion-based training or trainers. But what we're really wanting to talk about is for our listeners, what do they want to look for to identify a compulsion-based
And
trainer?
avoid.
And to hopefully avoid accidentally putting their dog in that scenario, in that environment of that training environment. Because really, no trainer is going to advertise they're a compulsion-based trainer. They're going to lose all their business because you would not want to do that to your dog. So I guess what's a compulsion-based trainer? Or
Me,
what's your definition of one?
compulsion.
Or how do you look at it? Or
that you force the dog into compliance of what you're asking them to do. And
that's a pretty succinct definition. Any additions to that?
I'd say that the trainer adds fear in the equation.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a
the
good
fear
one.
aspect. I actually hadn't thought of that, but you're absolutely right because the dogs become afraid to make a mistake. So that's where the fear comes in.
Yeah.
It's not so much, I don't think, it's so much the dog's afraid of the trainer per se,
well,
I think they become afraid of the trainer.
but they're afraid to make a mistake.
yes.
And you don't want a dog to be afraid to make a mistake.
Right.
'Cause now you got to teach them something more complicated that's actually going to literally be stressful. Well, now they're already fearful. Now they're stressed. You have a disaster on your hands.
Right.
And go
Fear. That's a good one. And it can be subtleties of fear. It doesn't mean the dog's shaking and quaking, but there is a fear component to it because they are afraid to make a mistake because they know there's this probably a severe consequence
Right.
for making that mistake, which would be a severe correction. Doesn't mean they kick the dog. No, that's an abusive trainer, not a compulsion-based trainer.
Right.
But there is definitely a pretty stern correction with a compulsion-based trainer. And it absolutely can be painful.
I would say it's not a correction, it's a punishment.
I would say you're right.
Because a correction should be like a learning thing. Like and you screwed up, let's try again. Not bad dog, you're being bad.
A good correction is just marking something and it has meaning to the dog. It should not be painful. Otherwise, it's really not a correction, it's punishment.
Yeah.
So I guess one easy way to find or identify a compulsion-based trainer, not to pick on e-collars. We can train dogs on e-collars, electronic collars, shock collars, whatever you want to call them. We just only do if our client asks us to. And there's typically a specific reason they want to do a lot of off-leash stuff, as we all know. But if you're meeting with a trainer that is an e-collar trainer, you really need to drill in. And as we mentioned last week, we're going to have a specific episode on just e-collars. So we'll keep this somewhat brief, right?
Not like last week. We got in the weeds.
We got in the weeds a little bit.
The 4 quadrants.
Yeah, we had to mow ourselves out of those weeds. If a trainer has an e-collar on and they push the button down and hold the button down until the dog obeys the command, they are compulsing the dog to comply or obey. Because for the dog to turn off what's termed in dog training is pressure from the e-collar or intensity of the level of stimulation. For the dog to turn that pressure off, they have to comply. So what that trainer's doing is making it extremely uncomfortable for the dog, right? To not obey. So they're compulsing the dog. And then it can, if it's a low level, it's still compulsion, even though it's not painful. But where it gets really crazy is we had a trainer that worked for us and before she came here, I'm not going to say her name, but you guys will remember. I'll say her name after the episode. She said she worked for a national franchise, and they started their dogs at level 100 on the e-collar.
Yep.
That's painful.
Oh,
I mean, that is freaking
100.
extremely painful. Yeah, why would you do that, right?
Don't know.
I mean, that is like just that dog's seriously afraid to make any mistake, and you darn right he's going to try to do things real quick to get that sensation off his neck. Because one time I accidentally touched myself on the cheek at 83.
It's a lot.
It was like being bit on the face.
Oh yeah, Kimberly didn't know I was changing her the diodes on an e-collar. I was putting longer ones because she had a long shepherd on, and she didn't know the e-collar was in her pocket. And it was probably at least an 80. I threw it on the ground, checked her hand, like, do I have burn marks? That was not a fun experience.
So that's one quick thing, if people are meeting with the trainer and they're using an e-collar, really pay attention to their thumb or their finger when they're pushing that button. If they're holding it down when they say a command and waiting until the dog obeys the command to let loose their finger, there's compulsion going on. Agreed, everybody? Yeah.
I would say the same thing with prong collars too.
Yeah, that's all I'm thinking about.
Really, what you want to look for is that not because prong collars used correctly should be like a little pop or jerk, since like motion, not full pressure till you sit.
Like you're hanging the dog or something.
I think it's worse. That's really what.
So let's talk about that one.
Well, because when I think of a compulsive trainer with the use of prongs, slips, star marks, whatever, those are very directional tools. The dog knows that you have to grab the leash in order for them to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Theoretically, with the e-collar, especially if people are just slapping it on and then starting at 100, they have no clue that it's coming from you.
Yeah.
Right.
Good point. The dog didn't know maybe where it came from. So with the prong and
everything, especially because some dogs are so sensitive to those tools, I just think it's terrible when they go in and force a dog to do something or have them sit or, recall things. All the things that you normally would do with those tools, they're just over the top about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the sad part, I think.
And I
you
think
can see it in the dogs.
And that's, I think, the point that when you are evaluating a trainer or looking at trainers, that's what everybody should be looking at is what they're doing over the top, because that really is compulsion. They're trying to take shortcuts. And there is, like a diet, there is no shortcut to fitness. It takes hard work, it takes exercise and eating right, and then you got to maintain that afterwards to keep it.
Yeah. It's like we talked about last week. You get trainers that guarantee they definitely have
I hate
compulsion.
that.
Because most of the stuff we're teaching dogs is basic stuff, and then at home is where it takes forever for their dog's whole life.
Well,
so
You're
it's
always
not,
working with your dog.
Right.
yeah, so you cannot teach something to any living being in 2 weeks that they will do 100%. And these are animals, so I think it's ridiculous.
Well, the problem is the compulsion-based training has very fast, like you can see results, like
You get
level.
really quick, fast
Wow,
results
that
for
dog
sure.
doesn't growl at other dogs anymore. You let a dog get close to it, see what happens.
Yeah, because you haven't actually fixed the issue.
Yeah, 'cause it's like not dieting correctly, starving yourself.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
you'll lose
true.
weight. You're losing all your muscle mass though. You're not healthy about it. You got to really fix the underlying problem, and compulsion will just do surface level problems.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, and to add to that, depending on the trainer and how they're enforcing that compulsion, then you hand the dog back over to the owner. And let's say the owner is not a strong handler, they're a weaker handler. They're not going to be able to apply the quote unquote hard corrections and all that
Correct.
stuff. And the dog's just going to go back to whatever.
Yeah, because most owners are not going to be doing that.
Yeah,
That's a great
they
point.
shouldn't be.
Yeah, they didn't sign up for that.
Right.
So now they take their dog home and their dog can't chew jack because they're not compulsing the dog to comply. They're not.
Right.
A dog should want to do the command because they know that's what that means. They shouldn't feel I have to do this. It's all about the motivation. We want the dog to be motivated to do it, not feel compelled to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And all of us, we can usually tell a dog that learned down through compulsion because the way they get into the down position, it's almost like, F you, I'll do it, but I am not digging this. I mean, they're just like, you can just tell they're just not into this command. They're resentful of it. They'll do it, but they ain't digging it.
Like they're like trying to
hide.
Their whole posture, their whole posture
We
is.
untrained dogs that sit. You can tell commands that people made dogs do.
Yeah.
'Cause they don't like.
They really don't like it. And then the client will say, my dog doesn't like to X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
It's usually how the dog learned the command. So now it doesn't mean the dog screwed up forever. You just have to reshape the dog's picture of that and gamify the position.
Yeah.
So have fun doing it. Make it a game. Down is fun. Frick yeah, let's keep doing this. This is a cool thing to do.
That is what you just said is how you should train most dogs is make it a game.
Yeah,
make
gamify
it fun.
your
Get your brain out of your trying to teach a dog something and make it fun for the dog. And so say your dog's treat motivated. If you're not trying to teach them anything, but when they do whatever position, then they are they get rewarded.
Right.
That help, I think. So this is completely different, not even about compulsion behavior. So we're out of the rabbit hole. We're not going down that aisle.
So I would say if you are actually doing an eval in person, which you should do them in person, the place they're going to train.
Yeah, never sign up for dog training over the phone.
Or at a park.
Yeah,
Especially if
don't meet a dog trainer at a park.
If they say they have a facility. Now, some dog trainers work out of their home, so you're going.
But that's where you should meet them.
Yes, at their home.
I'm sorry. If you want to train out of your home, that's fine. But I'm going to be meeting you at your home.
Yes.
I'm going to see where my damn dog is sleeping.
Dog gonna go through.
I want to see the other dogs in training.
Yeah.
Right.
What their conditions are like.
Yeah, if you're leaving your dog there, yes, definitely.
Yeah, if that trainer has a problem with that, then get out of the house.
That's a sign.
Or maybe it's a super clean house, a beautiful home, but they have small children. Well, that's not exactly a safe scenario to let 2-3 strange dogs running around the house.
Or they have crates in their garage, which is not air conditioned. In Texas, that's a big one. Or in Minnesota in the winter. I mean, it's
anywhere in the summer. Just wherever you're at in America, in
July,
3 o'clock in June, July, or August, walk out and read a book in your garage for an hour. You ain't gonna make it. It's hot. There's no circulation, let alone the heat.
I would definitely, when you're doing that eval, ask them, what training tools you're going to use. Obviously, they're going to use some. Is this going to be permanent? Am I going to use this training tool for the rest of my dog's life?
Good point. Because a lot of e-collar trainers, they literally are teaching the dog to be dependent upon that e-collar.
Yep.
For
prong collars too, slip leads.
Yeah.
You should be able to train a dog eventually to be just
almost all dogs should be able to transition out of a tool.
Yeah.
There's certainly an exception to every freaking rule
out there,
or every rule that's ever made.
And some people like giving their dogs treats. Or you feel a lot safe. You have a Mastiff, and I feel safer with a prong collar because the dog outweighs the owner, and you just
in case you can't take a spill. Yeah. You can't risk breaking your hip, breaking your back.
Yeah.
But you're not actually using it as that training tool anymore. Yeah. It's just there. As far as your dog's concerned, a collar.
Yeah. Like our dogs, we go hiking with e-collars. Do we really need it? Probably not. But there
could be a rattlesnake
chance. I worry about that. Or pigs or deer or something.
Yeah, pigs.
Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fear of me.
Hogs.
The hogs are my fear.
Yeah. No, the rattlesnake, after George thought he should play with one.
Yeah. But ask them if it's terminal, rest of their life tool, and if your dog will like that tool.
Right.
If you pull out your e-collar or a prong collar or even the leash and your dog's hiding from it, you're doing something wrong. Something bad happened associated with that training.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because our dogs love all the training.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, they do love all the training tools.
He'll be in the kitchen near my door, like getting the stuff ready, and he'll be all the way on the other side of the house. He'll hear me like fiddling with the prong or something, and he's like,
boom.
He just bursts to me. He's like, okay,
let's do it.
We're going somewhere. Yeah.
Even Abby, it blew my mind because Abby, we used a prong collar a million years ago.
Yeah.
And Pickles, newer street dog, starting with the prong collar, she just pulled everywhere, and Abby's so excited because she thinks the prong collar's going on her. And you're like, Abby, it's been like 5 years
since you had one.
Since you had one on you.
This has been a long time. And she's like, please put it on me. I want to go walk too.
Which is neat at our facility. First day dogs, we smell like dogs, obviously. We don't. But the dogs can smell other dogs. So I think a lot of dogs, they get scared when they come the first day.
Yeah.
Because it might be a vet. I mean, but
who knows what your dog's
You know what they're thinking. But the second week, the dogs are so excited. Some dogs are even doing that little howl whining on, the owners would tell us, on coming up here.
It happened yesterday morning. I held the door open for a lady with a Ken Corso.
And, Bella.
Yeah, Bella. And she almost pulled her owner into the facility.
Yes.
Now, I wasn't happy about that because the owner didn't, get her back into a good loose leash. But she was laughing. She said, "Oh my God, this is way different than last week." She was so excited to get here.
Yeah, the first day of her first day training. This is a 5-month-old, very large Corso. Kind of growled at one of the kennel techs. I had to take the dog. Was very nervous. And the second week, that dog is loving it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Loving.
A big wiggle butt when she came in.
That will tell you a lot.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing, your dog should love your trainer.
That's why it's important, really, for people that are looking at training. You've got to see the trainer's training.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because the trainer's dog is not a reflection of the training you're going to receive. Period. That trainer spends years working with his dog. It should be X, Y, and Z. The reflection of the training is the dog's personality and attitude with the trainer. Mm-hmm. Unless a caveat, so a rule to everything. If it's an extremely over-the-top anxious dog, okay, then everyone understands it's an anxious dog. Right. We're not going to see maybe a bubbly personality because the dog's scared of the world in general, and that's one of the reasons he's in training.
Yeah, but that trainer should be all bubbly and happy, though.
Yeah. But what's the trainer helping the dog to do to overcome that?
Yeah.
But your normal, even reactive dogs, your normal other dogs, what's the relationship that you visually see between that trainer and that other actual training dog?
Yeah.
That's what you want to see. That's your test.
I think something that's very telling to kind of go along with that is, depending on where you take your dog to be boarded and trained, if the trainers are not willing to show what they're doing with your dog. So like in our case, we're very transparent in our facility, obviously, but also in our pub dates, we send videos, things like that. I think it's very telling the way that we treat our dogs here.
Yeah.
And that if a trainer is not willing to show even like a 30-second clip because they know that the dog is already scared, it's not going to look good being sent to an owner. That's where you have to be mindful of things like that, because for me, what's sad is when I see some of the videos you see on YouTube or social media of dogs being compulsed, and you can see just how scared. Scared. They're just
genuinely
scared.
petrified.
They're nervous to do anything wrong at that point.
They are scared to do the next thing.
Yes.
Because they're scared to guess wrong and be corrected.
Yeah.
And God, who wants to live like that?
Yeah.
I mean, we think of children when they're an abusive family.
Yeah.
They're scared to make a mistake because dad or mom are going to beat them up. That's this dog, but he can't even talk to him. He can't say, please don't do it again. I mean, he can't say anything. He can't,
They get dogs that have no curiosity, don't want to do anything. They're just afraid to make mistakes. And learning every command, you're going to make hundreds, if not thousands of mistakes.
Right.
Yep.
And the dog is just going to make a virtual litany of mistakes. What we need is him to be so willing to try it again.
Try.
We'll work it out. We'll just keep doing it, and I'm going to keep making it fun. And through repetition and consistency, he'll begin to understand what it was that we wanted him to do.
Yep.
There's no shortcut to that.
No.
And trying to do a shortcut, like you said, Wyatt, for fast results through compulsion, the dog literally didn't learn that behavior.
Yeah.
He has learned to fear not doing it.
Yep. Especially if you're trying to go over an emotional problem.
Yeah. It does not
It's
work.
like what they say about addicts. They have to decide to get over their problem. You can't make them make that decision.
Right.
It don't work that way. It's like trying to make someone change their favorite color. It does not work.
Yeah.
They'll lie to you eventually.
Yeah, anxious dogs
not gonna
are
work.
definitely the most difficult.
Yeah.
I wonder also if you guys would agree with me that a lot of compulsion.
Not today. Yesterday I would have.
Okay. That a lot of compulsion-based trainers don't really have aggressive cases, because that true aggressive cases would not respond well to compulsion training.
I would agree a lot with that, but I do know of a couple that do some aggression training, but not that much.
Right.
And it's probably because they don't get a lot of referrals for it because they don't have a lot of success.
Correct.
We actually never intended on doing, like a focus on reactive dogs, but God, we train a lot of them.
Human aggressive dogs. Yeah.
Human aggressive and dog aggressive. And the reason is neighbors remember what that dog was like, and then they go, holy crap, I'm going there.
Well,
so we're not even advertising for them. They just keep coming.
Not even neighbors, vets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
vets.
Oh, yeah. How much? That's a crazy thing.
after.
That just happened a couple weeks ago. Oh, my God. Where'd you go? This dog is different. Because they couldn't take their vet without
drugging
and muzzling the poor dude. Oh, yeah. Vets, too. So you commented that compulsion-based trainers probably don't do a lot of reactivity because they couldn't get away with it. Right.
Correct.
Because, that's how I interpret it.
Yeah.
And I guess what I mean by that is if you do too much compulsion on an aggressive dog, he's going to eat you.
And that's really what I meant, is that eventually the dog will retaliate.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
And there's a national dog training franchise. He was attacked by his own dog. And
Not surprised.
people in his group class had to pull his dog off him because he didn't quit attacking.
Yeah.
That's compulsion, clearly. That dog just finally hit the boiling point and said, F you. I'm done.
I wish I could have saw that.
I know it.
Back in the day, there were circuses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Hunting
lions
dogs.
attack people. And
Right,
things.
right.
It's
Say
just-
that was a big deal, that lion.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine your own dog attacking
No,
you?
I cannot ever imagine
And then
that.
not stopping.
Yeah.
Not bite you, but
Attack.
actually attack.
Yeah.
Where other people had to come in and pull your dog off
That's
of you.
not good.
Oh, that's sad.
So when you're looking for a trainer, you should ask them how they teach a dog anything.
Yes,
How do you?
I think that's hard though, because anyone can lie.
it is.
I don't know. We've had a trainer that came in here did not know how to train a dog without a new
Right,
collar.
because they're a compulsion-based
Right.
dog
I mean,
trainer.
I guess they can lie.
I just mean, like, if an owner who's looking for training goes to a trainer, I feel like the trainer could at any point in time lie and say,
Of course.
You know what I would ask? But that's a good question, and that's a
That
good
is
point,
good.
because how do you see through the bullshit?
Right.
Yeah.
So the question is, if they use tools, then a good probing question, the quality of a question dictates the quality of the answer that you're about to get. Say, if you didn't have the e-collar on, or if you didn't have the prong collar on, you didn't have whatever tool it is that trainer is talking about, how would you train the dog then to do X?
Oh, I don't know.
And if they say that, or you can tell they just freaking really don't know, no matter what's coming out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Run. Because they don't know how to train the dog without the tool.
So they don't know how to train a dog.
They don't know how to train a
Period.
dog. They know how to compulse the dog.
Yes.
Because, like you said, Laura, a few weeks ago, a dog training company came in and they asked how we train dogs. Because we don't have e-collars on.
And it was
I thought he was joking.
That's such a bizarre.
I know. I literally thought he was just being a smartass. And I said, what? He was
So
serious.
that is the bad part about a lot of franchise, a lot of e-collar trainers. They don't know how to train
They
dogs.
don't know how to train a dog
Period.
without one, because that is their.
Because it's not a magic button. It's not a magic anything. It does not train anything.
The e-collar cannot train anything.
No.
You still have to do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fun repetitions.
And then the owner has to do it.
And then you have to work with the owner, like you said, to get the dog to understand, oh, this applies to my mom and dad's too. And then they got to do it at home. Oh, this applies at home too.
Yeah.
It's first association, then generalization.
I just don't understand how owners of companies or even franchises, I'm like, do you not read books? Do you not expand your knowledge
know it,
base
yeah.
at all?
No,
It's
they
not
do
like
not.
this is your first year of owning it. You've
I
probably been in
know.
business for 10, 20 years.
Yeah. At what time did you decide to quit learning?
God.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was all about e-collars, and then in about 3 months went, oh, they're great, but there's other ways that are just as good to train
Right.
dogs. Like, we've been there, but that should not be something you're stuck in. That's ridiculous.
And you mentioned earlier, Laura, on guarantees. It's a fair question.
It
Do you
is.
guarantee you'll be able to train my dog? I think what they're asking is, do you guarantee you'll fix my dog? Because there's an issue that they feel they need to have fixed. So if it's emotional, no guarantee. We cannot want it, like you said, more than the dog wants it. And that's a long process. A dog just came in yesterday that I trained 3 years ago. German Shepherd. He was he was a rescue. And he was quite clear he'd been abused by his leash, because you go to put a leash on that dude, he'd pee himself. Walking him, he kept looking at the leash,
Waiting for it to
afraid
hurt
of it
himself.
and shake.
Yeah, it's
he was
sad.
he was a shell. He was not a German Shepherd. He was a shell. So they came in yesterday to say hi, and that dude Bosco is just
Bosco.
out there living the life.
Yeah.
Is he still a tad insecure with new and scary things that surprise him?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, because that's baggage. That's emotional baggage he'll always carry. But he's not afraid of leashes anymore. He don't pee himself. He's just out, spinning.
That was definitely one of those. I recognize you as the human.
Yeah.
I don't recognize your dog. And then as soon as you said the name, I was like, oh my God, that's the dog.
That's the dog, right?
Wow.
Right. Doggone it, where was I? Oh, so guarantees. It's virtually impossible to guarantee with any certainty emotional issues.
And you have to.
Can it get better? Absolutely, but it's a long.
It's just about the work.
It's just a process.
I think
it's the work,
that applies to everything, though. It applies
Everything.
beyond just aggression or emotional-based
Anything.
problems, even just obedience. You can't guarantee that, because if the owner's going to go home and never
That's
work
right.
on it
That's
again,
what I was gonna say.
then the dog is for sure going to just not follow through with what they know.
Yeah, they don't practice it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you got to want it more than the dog wants, but you also have to want it more than
And then you have to
the
be
owner has to
consistent.
want to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
And
the problem.
You got to change your behaviors too
Yeah.
on how you interact and train and work with your dog, and don't so what I guess typically if someone's saying, will you guarantee it? To me, I'll say, I guarantee your dog will sit, they'll heel, they'll walk loosely on a leash, they'll down, they'll stay with me.
Yep, that's
And
exactly.
I'm going to show you how to get them to do all that with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's up to you to maintain that.
And I think some people want to ask a guarantee too, if they'll do X, Y, and Z, but also if they don't, and we are doing the owner's doing everything we can, are we going to be there for them? And we definitely are. If we see see that you are putting the effort in, you're doing group class, we will
trying.
We will be behind you,
We've
helping
done
you all
lots
the
of
way.
free training
all the
days for
time.
people that literally are putting all the effort. They just have a special dog that needs us to help them with that.
Oh, they're special people.
Or that's true
Or
too.
some people just struggle.
Yes.
And it's not that they're dumb or anything.
No,
like
no,
that.
that's not what I meant.
It's
Some
just-
things are hard. Like if your
And they
dog's
have a
been
hard-
It's just not natural for the person.
Yeah, to be.
or if that dog's been
they're
trying
not
to
dog
eat
trainers.
people.
Yes, that's very true. What?
Or if that dog's been trying to eat people for 4
Yes,
years,
it's
and
hard.
trying to untrain your brain.
That's the whole point. That
to
is
get all
down.
That's the craziest part is when you see an owner come in and they're already flinching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing's even happening.
Nothing's even
Yeah.
happening. They've already
They're
prepared
like,
the dog. Get ready to attack.
Yeah.
That's the
Yes.
dog's signal.
But the person is, I say dogs live in pictures, people do too. Yeah. They see their dog attacking other dogs. They've watched their dog bite humans. They are ready for it. And
I've had people full on cry because I'm petting their dog in evals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what, why? Why are you freaking out? Like, it's a normal dog. I don't understand. And they're so in their own brain about
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully today's topic was enlightening. We did go down a rabbit trail or two, but hopefully they still kind of applied to today's topic. Next week will be the last one on types of dog trainers, and it will be on rewards-based training or trainers. And if you are needing help with your dog, we'd love to help you and your pup on your training journey and welcome you to the Canine Culture family. Remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Canine Culture Dog Training DFW are our handles on both those. And reach out to us through our website, k-9culture.com. Click on the Contact Us form. We'd love to visit with you about any issues that you need help with your dog or any issues your dog needs help with you.
Yeah.
That's typically actually the issue.
I just read a quote that said, if you want your dog to be your best friend, don't be an asshole.
That's good advice.
That's good advice.
I like that advice, Laura.
All right. So until next week, go
Have fun with your dog.